All right. We back in the building. We back in the building. Salute to everybody that's here. You already know I'm Blue Devil, and today we back with another video reaction. Now, look, first and foremost, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. We bringing content on the daily for those that don't know, or for those that are new. We give you reactions every day. We give you podcasts every other day. And you know, right now we grinding, bro. YouTube has been sort of like shadow banning us, but we've been, fighting through it. So make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you think of this video. So the video brought to you today is by No Jumper. Bozo on falling out with Lefty Gunplay. Falling out with Lucky after Lefty Gunplay squabble. So basically what they're talking about is, I don't know if you guys remember, Lefty Gunplay did a episode at Hoodstocks, and Lefty was going to fight Lucky. Lucky was going to fight Lefty. And Bozo was there that day, and I guess Bozo's going to explain why him and Lucky fell out over that situation. Now, for those that don't remember, that's right around the same time that Lucky started to have chosen words for me as well and fell out with me. Prior to that time, me and Hoodstocks were cool. So hopefully I get a chance to also put in my 2 cents and tap into that situation that Bozo's about to put us up on game for, right? But look, I had a podcast last night. Julian Newman. We talked about Ryan Garcia, Oblivion, Aiden Ross. We talked basketball. It was a great pod, bro. Sergio 2 times was in the building. Opina, me, Julian Newman, and Pops. And today we got a pod too. We have a music release, little live stream. We're going to do it in here. 4 or 5 homies, 6 homies. We're going to have a full house. And we're going to listen to artist album. So make sure you guys tap in today at 7:30 p.m. I believe. All right. And with that being said, let's get straight into this content. Bozo talking about why he fell out with Lucky from Hoodstocks. All right. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys tonight. Oh, but I do got a premiere dropping at 1 p.m. today. Let me tell you what it is. Sureno gang member Bozo gets disrespectful with blogger live on No Jumper. You don't want to miss this one. This one's going to be pretty fire. All right. There you go. This drops at 1 p.m. Tap in. Let's go. Oh, wait. Let's rewind.
Right. So, just to get back to the current podcast landscape, I forgot about the Insurgents Hoodstocks.
That shit burned down. It's up.
They passed me the ox.
It's
not a laughing matter,
because it probably was some homeless food just around, and
that's what they think.
Well, that's what the fire marshal told Lucky from what Lucky said on his post. Because I haven't talked to Lucky. Me and him stopped talking a while back. We're good and everything. Don't get me wrong, but we just stopped talking.
You were kind of like opposed to him. Like, what'd you guys stop talking about because of?
It was just like I don't know. I feel like it was a misunderstanding between both of us. When the issue happened with him and Lefty at the studio,
where they had a fade outside after an argument.
I'm the one that separated Lefty from that. You know what I'm saying? And I had just met Lefty at the time. You feel me? Even though I knew about him because of my homeboys and I f with his homies, all that gang shit, right? Lucky felt like I should have took his side. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, I wasn't taking no sides.
You were just trying to break it up?
I just saw 2 of my homies about to get into it, and I wanted to diffuse the situation as quick as possible. That's my mentality, because think about it, bro. It was a crew of Lefty there, and then the Hoodstocks crew, and Lefty and Lucky were going to fight. What the f you think was going to happen?
But you didn't think that there was a possibility that they were going to actually just let him get it out of the way? I feel like amongst actual friends,
listen,
that's
bro,
not so much to ask.
Listen.
Okay, before we continue with this, Bozo hit a main subject. He said, Lucky thought like I should have took his side in the beef with Lefty Gunplay and him. See, that's the problem. Like, nobody owes anyone loyalty, right? Like, the only people you owe loyalty to is probably family. And a lot of people would beg to differ and say, not even them, right? And your gang, because you vowed to protect and uphold the gang for life. Your family, you're born into it. You got no choice. But still, if you love your family and that's really you, I say you have to have loyalty to your family. And, that means your kids, your wife, all that, right? And then if you vow to be from somewhere, that's who you owe your loyalty to. Now, everyone else, you can agree to disagree, or you can, like, case by case basis. We homies, but I don't agree with you on this situation, fool. Now, when it's homies from your hood, even though you don't agree with them, you gotta stand with them, dog. Cause they from your hood, they're your homie. They an extension of you. But when it's someone else from a different gang, it's like, even though I got brothers from other gangs that I will die for and they will do the same for me, but it's a chosen few. So again, he don't owe Lucky any loyalty. If he felt Lucky was in the wrong, as a grown man, Lucky shouldn't feel any type of way. He should see that and say, you know what, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe this, but to like get angry and cut people off over something you did. Because he's the one that did that by getting drunk and high on the podcast with a guest. That situation happened. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself. Accountability.
Ain't nobody.
It doesn't matter, bro. Like the lifestyle that we live, we've seen so many people get shot. You don't open that shit up for a possibility or maybe. Like I don't give a who I'm arguing with. If you give me a certain type of energy and I'm blowered up, you're either gonna get shot or I'm gonna have to just walk away and let you cuss your ass off and embarrass me. But in my mind, I'm walking away because I'm a kill dude.
I guess like in my mind, I'm picturing them having like a pretty fair squabble. That I think is something that could happen.
We were all drunk and off shrooms.
Oh
Adam.
Lord, now we're
that
talking.
wasn't gonna happen.
No. But all.
Okay, so this is what he's talking about. Adam is looking at it like, oh, well, if everybody in there's a Southsider, why can't they just fight and get it out the way? Nobody really listens to nobody. Imagine, right? You got a group of dudes over here from SGV. You got a group of dudes over here from Northeast LA, right? And everybody's drunk and high. Who's the one that's keeping the order? If a dude from the SGV says, hey, everybody shut the fuck up. Let these fools get it in. You gonna have a dude from over here say, who the fuck made you president? If you got a dude from Northeast saying, hey, everybody shut the fuck up, let these fools get it in. Then you got a fool over here from the SGV saying, hey, who the fuck put you in charge? It don't work. Everybody's Macho Man. Everybody's Hulk Hogan. It don't work. Now, if motherfuckers were sober, it'd be a little different. Or if there was somebody there of that power. But those people are not at these events. If there is somebody there of that power that everyone respected, then yeah, when he speaks, we all shut the fuck up. But those people are not at these places. Therefore, to get order in a melee with different men from different gangs, all drugged up and drunk, it's not gonna happen. They gonna be fighting. And then one fool from over here that got a gun, he's gonna want to do some shit to like impress his homeboys, and or vice versa. So you don't do that. You let motherfuckers cool down. You come back another day, and then if it's really a fucking problem, then we'll set up the one-on-one, sober, respectfully somewhere where it can be contained. But 20, 30 drunken fools, it's not gonna happen, dog.
Also, if it ends up being like really one-sided, like I haven't seen Lucky in real life, but I'm kind of picturing him beating the out of Lefty. I don't know, but but to me, in my head, I'm imagining him winning that fight. And if it really goes like in a direction where like a gets knocked out cold on the ground, yeah, that could be bad. Like if it's a real, like, oh, he just broke his jaw. He's holding his jaw. He's bleeding everywhere.
If you're my dog, I'm killing. on that fool that touched you.
See, yeah, I don't know.
And we'll talk about it later.
That's a lot to ask for.
Someone gets in.
See, same thing. See, like you can't win. You don't win. Like, especially now with the internet and everything that's going on, everybody's going to try to get that. Oh, I got a video of Lefty getting knocked out. You know, oh, I got a video of Lucky getting knocked out. You can't do it, bro. That's why it's scandalous that homies will put homies in those situations, bro. That's why it's fucked up that you will put someone that you invite to your pod in that type of situation. It's like you invite me here as a guest, and then you put me in a situation where I can either kill you, you can kill me, or we can go to prison. And that's how you pay me back when I'm just coming to bless your platform? That's why I'm very appreciative of every guest that pulls up to my place. And that's why I've always made it very clear. When you come here, we are one. We are together. We are a team. It's no outside noise gonna come in here and disrupt what we got going on. And ain't nothing in here gonna happen to either you or me, because you already blessed me to come to my pod when you didn't have to. So I'm not gonna put you in a situation like that. Now, you know, you have people in the chat, what about Cholo Juan? You know, bro, it's fake. I done told you guys, it's fake. So again, it's pretty fucked up that somebody would do that to a guest and put them in a situation. Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Lucky, you know, and I don't want to, and I'm not going to, but sometimes we learn from our mistakes. You know, maybe he learned from this and now he moved different. Maybe at that moment he didn't realize what he was doing. You know, let's go ahead and give him that. You know, maybe now he's moving correctly. But it is fucked up to get put in that situation where it's like, now I gotta handle business, or if I don't shoot you or fight you, people on the internet are gonna think I'm a bitch when I'm really not. I just didn't come here for that. It's fucked up, bro.
And the other guy gets in.
Yeah.
The other guy get blowed. And it's
a lot to ask the homies to not.
That's
do
what
that
I'm saying.
When you're
so me knowing that shit, me seeing this happen numerous times.
Yeah.
I lived in it. I said, you know what? I'm diffusing this shit ASAP. Grabbed homie. I knew the way out of there because I had been to the studio before. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't wait for one of Lucky's homies to come and help because they were like in limbo. Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just try to use my wisdom and protect both of my homies. But as usual, you know, when you always end up in bad with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't end up in bad terms, but we just don't have the relationship that we had before. You know, Lucky used to go to my house and turn up with me and my family, you know.
And I will say that the day that happened, Lefty's Gunplay's phone stayed at that studio, and somebody that was there that knows me very well hit me and said, hey, fool, I got Lefty's phone. Hit up someone over there because you're tapped in with them, and, you know, give me an address so I could drop it off. And I made that call. I called Soulless. I go, hey, fool, my boy said he got Lefty's phone right now. And he goes, hey, fool, tell him to meet me at this address. Boom. Because Lefty had left his phone there, you know, in the middle of all this drama. And my homeboy that was there, you know, my homie that was there, went and delivered the phone and ended up kicking it with Lefty that whole night. You know? Now that it's all coming out to the media, and now that everything's being said, why not finish those dead spots of the story that nobody really knows? Now, yeah, I know you're going to people in the chat, who the fuck are you, fool? You're fucking lying. That's cool. Whatever. You know, but they are facts. Salute to my boy over there. He know who he is. Let's continue.
I would always tap in, and you know, I threw him as many alley-oops as I could with like guests that I could send that way, and he would help me out, do, you know, little reviews of my albums and shit, music on his podcast, give me a platform, and I always appreciated it. And to this day, you know, it ain't no beef, like it's all love, like absolutely. But that's what happened, you know. I tried to defuse the situation. I ended up in bad terms, but at the end of the day, it's a small price to pay. Somebody would have got dropped right there, you know. I'd be hating myself, you feel me? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I could have prevented some shit, you know what I mean?
But don't you think also in that situation that, I mean, this is like a situation that's supposed to create respect between the two people.
But like I said, listen, we were drunk, bottles, not beer.
That told me, like, yo, Lefty's really with the shit. Like, Lefty's down to fight this dude. Like, that's pretty dope. Like, they...
Listen, Mr. 22 Stir. Listen, Mr. Adam. Let me explain some. And then let me explain some to all the dudes in the chat that think they know what it is, or the ones that are not from Cali, or the ones that feel like they can speak on whatever goes on in Southern Cali, home of the gangbang, right? When you see an individual with his day ones, that dude has done more than enough to be respected by his peers. So if you see a lefty gunplay with 5, 10, 15 of his homies from his area, that tells you that he one of them dudes over there. That's why they rolling with him. If you see a Blue Devil with 10, 15 of his homies from his gang, not from different gangs, from his gang, that tells you that he's respected in his section. If you see Bozo with 10, 15 homies from his gang, that tells you that he's respected by his people. All right? If you see a gang member or a dude that claims to be this gang member and he's always alone, never with anyone, and or always with different dudes from different gangs, that tells you right there he a sucker. Now there is exceptions, and I'm not gonna go that far because there is homies that roll solo. Yeah, there is. But if you go to their Instagram, you'll see them with their homies or at their functions or whatever. But you gotta remember how they can be around 20 dudes from 20 different gangs, but not be around with 5 dudes from their own gang. Don't let that shit fool you, bro. Don't let that shit fool you. If you really good with your homies and you're set, you gonna bring some around, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4. You gonna bring some around with you, bro. They're your people. But if you're not good with your homies, you gonna replace that empty void with a bunch of dudes from other gangs that you may knew or picked up along the way. That's why you gotta respect those that you still see with their day ones, bro. Bozo always comes here with all the homies from over there. Lefty, same thing. Serio 2 times, the same thing. Me, all the people you guys see in my videos, they from my set. All of them, bro. Who else? Who else comes over here like that? Fool, a lot of homies come over here with they homies, bro. Yeah, there's a few that haven't, and I've never seen them with people from their area. But hey, let them figure that out. Now you're gonna have dudes in the chat saying I'm wrong, but that's cool. Yeah, I am. I'm very, very wrong. Shit, even American Cholo came here with a bunch of dudes from, the boys. If you know what I'm saying. You feel me? But then you got a lot of podcasters out there, a lot of bloggers that claim that they're this and that, and they ain't got one homie around them. Now, yeah, most people are going to be like, you need your homies. No, it's not about needing your homies for anything, bro. It's about the fact that you're still able to walk in a straight line with your head up high and still see the same friends you were in kindergarten with, see them eye to eye, knowing that you've done no buster shit in these fucking 20 years, 30 years of your life. Most people don't have these friends around no more because they did fucked up shit. So they got to go find new friends. But if you were able to have the same friends 20, 30 years, that means that you ain't done no fucked up shit you ain't been able to fix, bro. That's the thing, you stupid motherfuckers.
He's a real one. Like, he's actually what he says he is.
Yeah, but we're
that fool's not. You think all this internet shit's like,
we were drunk,
fucking crazy.
shroomed out, coked out.
Oh man, yeah.
If you're struggling with depression and not feeling the comfort and peace that you need, I invite you to meet with missionaries like me from the Church of Jesus
I think I'm gonna go to that. Wait, let me see some ID first.
Christ of Latter-day Saints. We can help you lift your burdens through the gospel of Jesus Christ.
You never know nowadays, cuh.
Bro, like, dog, when I walked in that bitch, I just had a flashback of like being young in the gang module again, drinking Pruno with the homies, sharpening up shanks.
Yeah.
That was the vibe that I got in that moment. Like, whoa, somebody's
Definitely
getting
some
whacked.
shanks in
You know
there.
what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You go to the bathroom, fool. Someone's sharpening their shank. Now look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Let me tell you guys, I have been told many times that people feel uncomfortable going to certain pods because of the vibes, but you have to sort of like understand that every pod has its purpose. Even Hoodstocks, bro. Their purpose is the gangbang, prisoner. They talk about the making the soups, what are them shits called? The spreads. They talk about prison life, and that's their niche, their genre. That's what they specialize in. So if you're going over there and you're expecting fucking roses and balloons, and you a fucking retard. You feel what I'm saying? So every pot has its purpose. So you can't really feel like, oh, I went over there and I was sort of like I wanted to leave because the vibe was crazy. What you think you was walking into, bro? What you think you was walking into? Disneyland? You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. You feel me? So hey, it is what it is.
So I'm like, what the?
Because you know what? Like a drunk room and a regular room are so different.
Way different.
Because you know what it was?
Way different.
Last night when I was watching the YG versus game versus, like, I almost went. And then I didn't go at the last minute because I was going to try to do this interview. And then I figured I could just stream watching it. But like when I watched it, I realized like, yo, I would have been in over my head. Because I thought like a room with like, 50 bloods in it or whatever is like whatever to me. Like I don't feel like I got problems with these people. I would go. I don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But when I watched it, I realized, oh, it's not just 50 bloods. This is 50
Drunk bloods.
drunk ass bloods.
Lit as fuck.
Like the leaders of it, the game and YG were annihilated. I can't even imagine what like the homies were on because they don't even.
So look, we had a Bozo podcast here the other day, and everybody was shit-faced. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you the story. We're gonna leave it for an exclusive. Facebook caught and a bunch of other shit. Like, we're gonna leave that. But what Adam is saying is, you could be in the room with 20 gang members. It's all good. When everybody's sober, we're all level-headed. We could figure it out. But 20 gang members that are drunk and high, you can't figure it out, bro. You can't figure it out because everyone's faded. That makes perfect sense.
Have to rap or do anything. They were probably so f***ed up. That is the energy that I don't think I probably would have been wise to surround myself
Can't
with.
control it.
Swarmed.
Just
It just wouldn't have been engaging for you.
Whether it's positive or negative, it would probably just kind of end up sort of negative because it would have just been too much.
You saw when Big Boy went on stage?
And they were putting the rest.
All right, we're not gonna talk about that, but look, let me put in my 2 cents. At that same time, when this happened with Lefty Gunplay and the whole Hood Stocks, the next day I interviewed Lefty Gunplay, and he used a part of that interview to put on his biggest record. Go look it up. But salute to Lefty Gunplay, bro. Him and Solis gave me that interview, and we talked about it. And up to that point, I was cool with Hood Stocks. I was cool with them. I had no issue with them. But they had an issue with me interviewing Lefty because I asked Lefty if he would ever go back to Hood Stocks, and he had a few chosen words. And like Bozo said, trying to help people out, you always end up being the bad guy. Now they're cool, I guess, or Soul is cool with them, and I'm over here like, when I didn't really do anything. All I asked Lefty was like, hey, would you ever go back up there? And that's an honest, great question. As a journalist or as a blogger or a YouTuber, these are questions you want to ask. You feel me? But I guess Lucky took it as disrespect, and that's when he started sending shots my way. I don't care. It does nothing for me. It doesn't matter, but that's where it stems from. So if you fell out with Bozo that day and with me, I mean, what does that tell you? I don't know, bro. Listen, you guys could figure it out. I truly don't care. But yeah, that's my reaction. Salute to Lefty, salute to Bozo. Hopefully Hood Stocks can get their building together and figure it out. You don't wish bad on nobody. That's how you continue. That's how you stay with good karma, bro. You do great things. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts down below. Leave your comments down below. Got a video dropping at 1 p.m. Tap in. Got a live stream tonight. And I'm going to see if I give you guys another reaction meanwhile. All right? With that being said, you already know I'm Blue Devil. Until the next reaction, we out of here.